Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lanky Beach Show. Well, WHR has hosted us absolutely so proudly this year. We have had a ball putting these things together. Tonight is our last show, Diane.
Is it our last show?
Yeah, last show, because we're running the shows in series, and this tonight completes our second series. It is recording number 13, and what we will do after this is we'll let the kind of spring and summer out, and then look towards August and start putting series 3 together. And
that sounds like a good plan.
So, is that not a good plan?
That sounds like a good plan.
Because, well, you know, we could come every week, we could come twice a week, 3 times a week. I mean, you know, we do what we want. And WHR, Right International Radio, will always accommodate us, and you as well, Diane. Thank you very much for, you know, putting your expertise in Lanky Beach
I love
direction.
it. I really do. I really enjoy it.
So nice. Yeah, I know. We do. We have really enjoy ourselves doing this, and so anyway, it's not farewell, but it's a nice little thing to do. And we've got a guest tonight with us, John Partington. He belongs to the Spidermen, and very recently they again played at Lanky Cats, and we shall have a little chat with him a little bit later. But first of all, come on everybody, 57 Chevy.
Oh, well, come on everybody, and let's get together tonight. I got some money in my jeans and I'm really gonna spend it right. I've been touring my home all a week long, and now the house is empty and my folks are gone. Woo! Come on, everybody! I want my baby's #1, but I'm gonna dance it free for home. And the house will be shaking from the bare feet slapping on the floor. Well, when you hear the music, you just can't sit still. If your brother won't rock, and your sister will. Woo! Come on, everybody! Folks come home, I'm afraid they're gonna have my eye. There'll be no more movies for a week or two, no more running around with the usual crew. Who cares? Come on, everybody! Come on, everybody! Come on, everybody! Come on, everybody!
Absolutely wonderful, as usual, 57 Chevy. I'm told that they had a little bit of a kind of a snag with personnel in the band, and they solved it, and they're looking to come to Lanky Cats pretty soon. How about that, Diane?
That'd be fantastic. They were good last time they were on.
Oh, they drive that beat, don't they?
It was about 18 months ago, wasn't it?
It is. I know. It's a shame, because that's what happens in bands, though, isn't it?
Yeah, people swap and change. Even in the top pro bands it happens.
Yeah, it always happens. But what we will do is look forward to hoping that they'll come back to Lanky Cats pretty soon. We've got a letter here from all the way from Australia. G'day, Bill, it says.
No, good day, Blue.
G'day. I have just listened to the posting on YouTube and Lanky Beat website of your interview with my cousin Ray Jones of the Cheetahs, who we interviewed here shortly, not long ago.
Yeah,
I remember. It was about, he said, an insight about the Spanish guitar that he mentioned on that programme was that it used to be mine, and apparently my mother sold it to her sister, which is Ray's mother. I must admit I was a little put out that no mention was made that it was me from the other side of the world who put you both in touch with each other. So, we're having to kind of grovel here, aren't we, and say apologies.
Get on with it.
To Roy. And let me just read out the rest of the letter. Especially, I have lived most of my life in Australia and lost contacts with I've lost contact with Ray's family over 50 years ago. And you can speculate how hard it was to find him again with the surname of Jones. Well, yeah, I agree with that. Luckily, one of our cousins who lived most of her life in Johannesburg, how international are we getting? Oh,
Very.
I know. Anyway, in Johannesburg, remembered his name of the group because I couldn't remember it. And, of course, it was the Cheetahs, which you know, this is one of the things that humbles me about Lanky Beat and the website. It was... I put it together to get information about bands of yesteryear up and in people's faces as a historical archive. But it's done far more than just be a reference to history of rock and roll, particularly in Lancashire. It's been far more because it actually has got people fired up enough to start playing again. And if they weren't playing like for 50 years ago, they started playing now, all because of that. Now that is a legacy that I didn't envisage when I opened it up.
That's what it's there for, isn't it, though?
I know.
Lanky Cats is there to get people up.
I know.
And get them playing.
So explaining to people perhaps who don't know that Lanky Beat was the first thing, which of course is www.lankybeat.com with a K in there, Lanky, KKK, lankybeat.com. And you'll find all the bands Lancashire getting up to 300 now. Fantastic. And of course what happened was, because people are getting themselves together and getting the guitars out the attic and the drum kits dusted down from the back of the garage, they needed somewhere to play, and that was where Lanky Cats came in, isn't it? And that's where having all that fantastic stuff, but all being brought back because of Lanky Cats. And it's the likes of Roy Ridings who saw Lanky Beat initially, got his thoughts together, did a bit of research, found his cousin Ray, who was in the Cheetahs, and they were inspired enough to get back together and play. And they played last September at the Rolling Stones night that we had down there. And now they're at Lanky Cats next week.
Excellent.
Doing a second one.
Brilliant.
And involved with them is some of the family this time as well. Younger sons are involved, and I believe one of them plays saxophone. So,
Well, that'd be interesting.
now then, how's that about that one again? So I've dug out one of their tracks again. It's authentic tracks, this. Absolutely. You may have to turn the volume up a bit, but never mind. And this is called Fortune Teller. Standing is what I've got down next for you. And just to mention, it's Still Standing. One of my favourite bands. That's mainly because they asked me to play with them. That's why they're my favourite.
I remember.
I know. Yeah. So as a standing drummer, I'm very happy to do that.
That's the first night we had the new speakers, wasn't it?
I know. Yeah. Diane's proud of her speakers, aren't you? She's got some big speakers there.
I like the PA system. That sounds nice.
I know it does. It's all down to you. You painstakingly put that together, haven't you? And it's absolutely sounded amazing.
It's getting better.
And we've not done yet, have we?
Oh no, no way.
Not done. So, what we've got down at Lanky Cats lined up is Sunday Cats is coming up in May, and it's on the Sunday, the 11th of May, in the afternoon between 1 and 5. And I've just booked 3 smoking bands. In other words, that gives me a lead into one of the band's name. Smoking Joe. No, the Smoky Joe Band, Still Standing, and Original Replica. Very interesting. Go on the website, just have a, type it in if you want to. Type it in and look for Google Original Replica Band. And they come with some nice stuff.
I like the van. Is there no comma van?
I know. It's not a. Is the comma van that or a Bedford van?
It's what?
We're looking at a picture.
It could be a
here.
Bedford.
I think it's a bed. It's an immaculate Bedford van, of course, which is what majority of the groups rode around in the 60s. They look immaculate in their grey jackets and their black polo neck sweaters.
Yeah.
They've got authentic Hofner guitars. They're real stuff, 1960s. They are sponsored by Hofner guitars, so perhaps that's how they got them. And they put together, can you hear the knock? Knock, knock, knocking on your door. This is John Partington.
I heard nothing. I heard nothing.
Let me in. Anyway, so that's what we got, and that is Sunday the 11th of May. So that's the advert that we're going to kind of give you. And here I haven't got a track of Original Replica or Smoky Joe, but here's a track I've got from Still Standing, and this is Sea of a Heartbreak.
The lights in the harbour don't shine for me. I'm like a lost ship adrift on the sea. The sea of heartbreak, lost love and loneliness, memories of your caress, so divine. How I wish that you were mine again, my dear. I'm on the sea of tears, sea of heartbreak. How did I lose you? Where did I fail? Why did you leave me? Always to sail the sea of heartbreak, lost love and loneliness, memories of your caress, so divine. How I wish that you were mine again, my dear. I'm on the sea of tears, sea of heartbreak. For what I'd give to sail back to shore, back to your arms once more. Come to my rescue, come here to me, take me and keep me away from the sea of heartbreak, lost love and loneliness, memories of your caress, so divine. How I wish that you were mine again, my dear. I'm on the sea of tears, sea of heartbreak. of heartbreak, sea of heartbreak, sea of heartbreak.
Live from the inner sanctums of Partington Hospital, playing the best of yesterday and today. Playing your music 24 hours a day. Across the wards of Partington and Wigan hospitals. Playing the best of yesterday and today. Your very own hospital radio. Playing your music 24 hours a day. This is Partington Hospital Radio.
Shoot that poison out, roll.
Cruel Sea.
Number
Now-
2.
Yeah. So there you go. I don't know what number 2 is, but there you go. We'll find out in a minute. A Cruel Sea. Now then, originally recorded by the Dakotas, the Dakotas were fronted by a guy called Pete McLean. Now then, they're a Stockport, Manchester band, are these guys. And of course, the Dakotas found fame backing a quite famous guy from Liverpool called Billy J. Kramer. So, and they just like did stonking #1 hits, didn't they?
Little children.
So there you
Little
go.
children.
And Pete McLean, of course,
Guitar
lost his
from
band.
Pines.
Yeah. So that's how that works out. Now that particular track is covered by a guy called Mitch. Again, the multi-talented Mitch. He's fantastic, isn't he? Producing that.
One
And of course,
respect from Hitch.
it's Mitch who produces the track that opens the show every time we record one. Isn't that right, Diane?
It
It's
certainly
called
is.
Lanky Panky, if you didn't know, and that's what Mitch again. So that's something about you again for our background. Meanwhile, you'll have heard already number 2. I don't know where that came from, but number 2, notwithstanding, is #1 guest tonight. Never mind number 2. This is John Partington, and he's just popped in the door there. He gave us a knock earlier on that you might have heard of. See, it sounds like we're live, doesn't it? You know, but we are all intents
We
and
are live,
purposes
yeah.
live.
Yeah.
But it's recorded first and then goes out to you at any time. We seem to feel fit to inflict ourselves on you. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. John, thank you very much for coming along and gracing Lanky Cat and Lanky Beach shows, respectively, because we saw you down at Lanky Cats, didn't we, last week?
You certainly
We've
did,
seen
sir.
you before, but we didn't know you first time round. We were kind of both finding our feet and both feeling our way, and then you came again. And what kind of a night did you have?
Excellent.
It was excellent, wasn't it?
Great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Nice people.
Yeah.
Good reception.
You certainly did.
And it's thoroughly enjoyable.
And what about that last spot? What did I say to you on the phone earlier this week about that last spot at
Well, you
Lanky
told me
Cats?
that you were surprised that you usually sit by the door,
I sit by the door, yeah.
and probably a handful of people walked out.
Yeah, and I sulk and I scowl at them for leaving too
That's
soon.
right, and
Yeah.
very little. In fact, I saw 4 walk out,
Ooh.
and that was it.
But what we've got at Lanky Cats, and it seems to become a tradition, is that by about 10:30, certainly 11:15, people are drifting away, catching the last bus or whatever they do at that particular time. And we've had, sometimes, to my kind of concern, a few too many people leaving at that time. But you more or less had the same packed house when you started as when you finished at 11:15. That's credit to you. That really is credit to you and the Spidermen. I'm really pleased to be able to say that to you. Fantastic.
It was good.
I know. So, this is present day. You're enjoying yourself, I suppose, all over again. But we have to find out and go back to your roots and your beginnings as to how it started for you. But let's keep in the here and now, first of all. Let's just have a look at what you're actually doing now, the lineup of the band, the kind of material you're doing, and what brings you to this particular point now in 2014.
Well, we actually reformed the band as the Spidermen in 2002. The lineup's changed a little bit, but we've still got Dennis playing lead
Dennis Malkin,
and Mike Rice on drums.
yeah,
He was with the Senators in the 50s
in the Senators,
and the 60s, yeah. They
Yeah.
did very well. They
Yeah.
played out of town a lot.
right?
And Dennis is a little bit younger than us, Bill,
Yeah.
so he did nothing.
Ah,
He didn't start learning the guitar till many, many years later.
right.
I would say he started learning to play the guitar only about 15 years ago.
Yeah, right.
And he's done very well. Billy and George,
Mm.
who play bass and rhythm
Yeah.
respectively.
Billy what? What's his?
Billy Hughes.
Billy Hughes.
Billy is, once again, he was never in the 60s because I think he's 65, Billy, or 66.
Yeah.
And they just missed it.
Oh,
But
right.
he's played in many bands over the years.
Excellent.
And they actually joined the Clayton Squares in 2001. And they were a 60s band.
Oh, they were.
And they named themselves after Clayton Square, actually,
Yeah.
in Liverpool.
That's right. Yeah.
And Bobby, I just forget Bobby's second name now, he was the only original one left of the band, the drummer.
Mm.
And they started coming to Merseycast about 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Until Bobby died about 2-3 years ago. They've been, and when Bobby died, they cut the name to the Squares. But they don't seem to want to do many gigs themselves. They've got another lead player and another rhythm player. And a drummer who actually drummed for us on
Yeah.
Thursday night, Colin Woodruff,
Right.
who stepped in for Mike because Mike was away.
Ah, right.
And so I hired Billy and George quite a few years ago now, and we've been together basically ever since.
Right.
And,
And that's been a kind of a cosy little lineup that you've had,
Yeah,
and stable with it.
yeah.
And you were telling me also earlier this week that sometimes you use a kind of a standing guitarist, don't you?
Well, the standing guitarist is Alan Hansen, who's probably, I don't think you might have seen Alan yet at Lanky Cats.
No,
You
no.
might well do soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would put him, in my estimation, of all the guitarists who go to Mersey Rats, Lanky Cats, you name them, he's as good or not better than a lot of them.
Fantastic.
He's an excellent player. He played with Alvin Stardust
Yeah.
for quite a number of years
There you go.
in the 70s. And then when Alvin went really religious and he sadly got divorced from Lisa Goddard, the band folded up, and Alan's played in Liverpool, not Liverpool Express, what was the Rocky Mountain Boys, and quite a number of really well known Liverpool bands, but more country, but he can play anything.
Yeah.
So, but he's in a band called Shaky Ground and one or two others. So if Dennis is not available because he goes away a couple of months of the year to Corfu,
Yeah.
Alan, if we can get him,
Yeah.
he'll stand in for us. If not, I don't bother.
So what you've just told me is the pedigree of each of these musicians in the Spidermen goes back quite some time.
Except for Dennis.
Except for Dennis, yeah. But the quality, you've mentioned bands there that were the bedrocks of Merseybeat and the Liverpool world uprising that started to put Liverpool and the Beatles and the Searchers and Scylla and all the rest on the map. These are the guys that did it, and I'm so proud to be able to have a chat with one of you about it. What about yourself?
Well, as a young lad, I mean, I left Wigan, Hindley when I was 7.
So you're a Wiganer?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Blantyre Street.
A Wiganer with a Scouse accent, folks.
And then lived in Bell Street, right behind the police station at Castle Hill.
Yeah. I know Hindley very well.
Well, my dad was a police bobby,
Right.
Lancashire policeman. And I went to All Saints School at the bottom of Blantyre Street, next to the Star Pub,
Yeah,
which Colin
Definitely.
Jarvis used to have.
yeah.
He used to take me up to West Orton Dogs as a young kid on his shows at about 6,
Fantastic.
7. And then we moved then from there to Middleton.
Near Manchester.
Near Manchester. And then when my dad got promoted, we then moved to Accrington. And he wasn't there long. And when I was 8,
Yeah,
it must be in 1951, we moved to Litherland,
that's Liverpool. Yeah.
where I lived
Moved
until, not far away,
Yep.
till I got married when I was about 22. And my first, earliest recollections of music was my mum had a beautiful contralto singing voice, and she was singing around the house. She also played piano by ear, and it was party time and Christmas times and even Sunday afternoons. She'd be playing Black and White Rag, Winifred Atwell and Johnny Ray Walking in the Rain, and she had a beautiful voice. And she used to stay up every Sunday evening between 11 and 12 and do the top 20. And she'd just leave it on the table. You'd have
Yeah.
Guy Mitchell, Alma Cogan, Ant Shelton, Joe Loss, all these songs, Frankie Lane, Johnny Ray.
I'm digging up some stuff there.
And then, when I was 13, I was 56, my mother took myself and my auntie and my younger brother, who's also, he's an excellent musician, my younger brother, to see Rock Around the Clock on the Corona Picture House in Waterloo. And then I thought, God, this is Fats Domino was on the bill, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Bill Haley,
Yep.
Fats Domino, and one or two others. And I thought, this is unbelievable. So I bought myself, or not myself, I got a Christmas present. My dad bought me a Hofner guitar, £2.50.
Goodness
And
me.
I learned to play that, but I've never played. I've never been. I can play rhythm guitar,
Yeah.
good enough to appease a band,
Yeah.
but not to jam. I couldn't get up and jam with songs
Yeah.
I don't know. But because with being a vocalist, I never bothered.
Yeah.
But I played and got by doing that. And I joined my first. Went to work in the Hall Line, a shipping company, when I was 15, in Dale Street, in Tower Billings, in Water Street, there, the Hall Line, and they used to have a tea room there with. I was a young junior. I had to make the tea for a set of officers. And this lad walks in one day and he says, "Are you a new lad?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's right." He said, "I'm Norman." He said, "I'm from the Marine Department." I was in the Victualling Department, wasn't I? And next thing, I just sang a song. I forget what it was now, the song offhand. He said, "Sounds okay, that." He said, "We're just starting a band off. Are you interested?" I said, "Well, I'm only 15. I said, and I lived in Litherland, and he lived in on West Derby Road.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, how do you get there to rehearse? And it was like miles away, probably about
It wasn't
10 minutes in the car, but thinking.
But it felt like miles away.
Exactly.
Didn't it?
So
Yeah.
anyway, he said, "Why don't you come on to rehearsals?" So I did. And the first song I ever sung, Bill, on a stage at St Aidan's Hall
Yeah.
on Queen's Drive was Boney Maroney,
Right.
the old Larry Williams song.
Yeah.
And my guitar had my dressing gown cord round it as the strap,
Yeah.
and didn't have a really clue what I was playing. But there's Pete Malloy on lead, there was Phil Roberts on bass, Norman on rhythm and vocals, myself and Pete Binion on drums. And we rehearsed. Now, I was just about 16 by then in the July, wasn't I? Yeah.
Can you remember the name of the band?
The Spidermen.
It was the Spidermen.
Yeah.
Ah,
And then,
that's so, God, blimey. Yeah.
and then I'd applied, because I worked in a shipping office,
Yeah.
I'd already applied to go to sea training school to go in the Merchant Navy. Sharpness down in Gloucestershire on an old sailing ship to train. And I was going there in the 1960, it was the October, and we did 4 gigs with the Spidermen. Did St Aidan's Hall twice, the Oddle Park Ballroom, and I think the other one was Blair Hall. It was either Blair Hall or NC Institute, I can't remember which. And then the Call of the Sea.
Yeah.
So joined the Merchant Navy, and when I get to the States, to Galveston, Houston, all these places, Cathy's Clown was all over the ship.
Right.
Handyman Jimmy Jones,
That's
and
right,
all the
that's
songs.
right.
Wonderful World, you know,
Yeah.
Sam Cooke and Twisting the Night Away, and
Yeah.
all over American.
That's right.
And when I came back, I came back about 5 months later, the Spidermen were getting going, and Norman Dunn was doing the vocals, and I went to see them. And I said, they said, "Are you coming back in the band?" I said, "Well," it's a bit dicey, Norman. I said, I'm back at sea. I said, in 3 weeks. Oh, he said, anyway, cut a long story short, I went back to sea again. And when I came back the second time, I was away for probably about 4 months again. And Norman, the lead singer, collapsed on stage at the Oddle Park Ballroom, and it transpired he had tuberculosis.
Right.
But Billy's still alive to this day to tell the
Fantastic.
tale.
That's
and he
fantastic
reformed
news.
the Spidermen with me in 2001.
Fantastic.
And that's when Vic Wright took over the vocals of the Spidermen.
All right.
So that left me, when I packed in the sea after 2 years, band less. So I was a regular goer to the Iron Door,
Yeah.
the Oddle Park Ballroom, the Cavern, of course, the Peppermint Lounge, St Luke's, Blair Hall, Ancient Institute, Oddle Park Ballroom.
Incredible history, folks.
And there we
Absolutely
go.
Wonderful, yeah. And you brought a CD as well, haven't you? Now then, before we play the first track, give us an insight into this particular CD.
Well, the CD was, we formed the band in about 2000, late 2001, 2002 with Norman.
Yeah.
Artie
On drums.
was on drums. Artie, I forget Artie's second name now.
Hello, Artie. Nice.
Anyway, Artie was on drums, and a young kid of about 18 playing lead guitar, who had never played rock and roll before. What he's doing now, I don't know, but
Yeah.
he went to university. He was there for about 2 years, and he had like a unique, even for a kid, he had a unique, and he got this sound, which when you listen, it
Yeah.
sounded raw.
Yeah.
And we just did this, and we had a girl playing bass, Louise on bass, and myself on rhythm.
Yeah.
And we went into the where the Mersey Cats were, the old Roland, the British Legion, upstairs, just an old room. And do you know Will Mountain? He comes to Mersey Rats regularly.
I know Will Mountain quite well
Right,
now.
well, Will-
Yeah, through Lanky Cats.
Right,
Yeah.
well, he follows our band round
Yeah.
a lot. He said, "I'll tape you, lads," he said.
Yeah.
And he taped it. And although I've got loads of other stuff, well, not loads, enough stuff, this, actually, if some of these songs, it'll take you back to that
Yep.
echoey sound of what the Cavern and these places were like in that time.
I'm gagging to hear this.
So,
Aren't you,
well, you
Dan?
might think it's any good, Bill.
Hello. Well, all right. Do you want me to give you a 10 out of 10 for it? We've played it. Let's have a listen then. This is
Okay, now.
Walking
an old
the
ru-
Dog, is it?
It's Walking the Dog. It's an
Yeah.
old black blues
Yeah.
singer called Rufus Thomas.
Yep.
And this is our version of it.
Fantastic.
Walking the dog.
Yeah, bring a tape recorder into Lanky Cats, dump it down on the table, switch it on, and that is the sound you'll get. And I think that's fantastic. I mean, I'm not a professional kind of anything to do with understanding sound, but Diane is. Now tell us, Diane, what you think of the quality that song is.
For the age, I think it's very, very good.
I know. The balance and everything. Somebody must have done a bit of good work to get that kind of quality of sound across.
Right on records what comes out the speakers.
I know. And, of course, not forgetting, there's a certain quality of the musicians required to get that sound as well. Don't forget.
I heard that lead guitar, it has got a distinct sound.
Yeah. So, there's your answer. Have we got to be? We're giving 10 out of 10.
Make it 9.
I can't give anything less because I just love all this stuff. We're so lucky to be able to listen to stuff like this. You go out and buy your CDs, you've got your vinyls or whatever, all recorded, all multi-million pounds thrown at recordings. This fella comes in with a bloody tape recorder, dumps it on a
That was
desk,
Will
and
Mountain.
that's what you've got, and that was Will. And Will, thank goodness you're back, and you're back from your illness, because I know you've been pretty ill, haven't you? You've been pretty ill as Will. But it's lovely to see you back. Fantastic. So back to you, John.
It used to be Big Will. Now he's not so big Will.
I know. He lost some weight, but he's a big. He's a tall lad, isn't he? Tall lad. Tall lad.
Yeah, the same as me, bro.
And I know he plays guitar. Is he very countrified in his guitaring? Is
No.
Is he a rocker? Blues.
He's a blues man.
Ah.
And he can play,
Yep.
but he will never get up. I've been in the shed in the back garden,
Yeah.
and we played together,
Yeah.
and he can play a bit of blues, and not bad at all. He can't sing,
Right. I hope you're listening, Will.
but
Now
he
then,
can play.
I've seen you play live. I saw him at Merseycats down at the original place across the road from where they are now, Merseycats. What was it? The
Ancient Bishop Legion.
Yep,
Yeah,
in there. It was about 4 years ago.
it will
And
be.
I know I got this guy up, and he stood out because he was such a big guy. And he didn't face the audience. He has his side to the audience. And he seemed to be singing to the side of the stage, if you like. But anyway, you don't forget things, and there's a reason why you don't forget. And then later on in life, I didn't know anybody down there that particular day. I met Dave Fergie, I met Wally Shepherd, I met various other people, Maya Dodd, and Ken Shalliker. So I met all those people down there that particular night, and of course those friendships have stuck in a way, and that's my Liverpool connection to things, because that's where Lanky Beat started, by looking at what the inspiration of Mersey Cats, Mersey Rats, and all of what you've been doing down there for the past 50 to 60 years. I mean, fantastic. And you're representative of that era, and you're a living archive as far as I'm concerned, and that's why we need to get you on programmes like this and get you talking. And that's what we're doing right now. So, did we leave off around about when you were 16, and then what happened?
Yeah,
coming
well,
forward from
I was
that?
away at sea, and I came back, and I followed. I used to go and watch the bands at the venues. Then about 65, it basically was finished. It was gone.
It was.
There was very few, if any, venues left.
I know. And Jerry and the Pacemaker packed in 1965, and
Yeah,
they'd had
that's right.
three,
Three number
or was it
ones.
4 consecutive
No,
number
3
ones?
consecutive number ones.
And then they had Ferry Across the Mersey,
Yeah.
which peaked again.
That's right.
And yet they couldn't find enough steam in the boiler to keep it going much after that.
That's right. Actually, what happened, Bill, is
What?
the songs, the bands that made it, basically wrote the material,
Yeah.
and the ones who didn't make it, the ones who didn't make it. I mean, in my opinion, there were some cracking bands around,
Absolutely.
but unfortunately, all they were doing was covers,
Yeah.
and there was nothing original about them.
Mm.
And the likes of Jerry, he got a good songwriter. Take the fellas down south. The Beatles wrote their own stuff.
Yeah.
Now, my favourite band, believe it or not, a lot will agree with me, musically wise,
Yeah.
were the Remo 4.
Really?
Actually, for quality of music and musicianship, they didn't do many vocal songs.
Yeah.
They often were instrumentals.
Yeah.
And Colin Manley was probably
Yeah.
He died about 10 years ago, Colin. He was, once again, in my opinion, was the best lead guitarist around.
Yeah, I've heard that before from another source.
They were exceptional, but unfortunately they faded away.
Yeah,
and the ones that did covers, like the Swinging Blue Jeans and Struck Lucky, they never made the actual, say, the big. They had a few hit records.
they did.
But to this day they're still doing places like Warner's.
Yeah,
and so they're still working.
Oh yeah.
But the other couple of thousand.
Yeah, I know, a couple of thousand. But it does. It's like football and David Beckham for every or Steve Gerrard for every one of those superstars. You need 10,000 young kids kicking a ball. And one or two or three will emerge at the top of that pile.
Yeah.
And it was the same with the bands, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the Mersey Beats, who finished in 65 because they released Sorrow in 66 as the Merseys. Not the Mersey Beats.
Yeah.
Just Billy Crane and Kinsley was left.
Yeah.
And the others broken up. I mean, they wrote some cracking songs.
Did they? They were writers as well, weren't they?
Yeah, they certainly were. Yeah, they wrote some lovely songs.
Yeah.
And they're still gigging to this day, decent venues. Yeah. So they've stood the test of time. But the likes of the ones at Mersey Cats now and Mersey are the ones who didn't make it, who all got other jobs, carried on, plodded on.
Well, yeah.
And then they've come back in the last 12 or 15 years.
But there was nothing wrong with that because a lot of bands were part-time and had good jobs and pursued careers rather than the music.
Take a chance.
You have to take a chance and jump one way or the other and go professional and see what happened. And a lot of bands, well, the lads in the bands did that but made nothing out of it, and some that did.
That's right.
Well, the rest, as they say, is history. But, where were you in that? Which side of the kind of fence were you when it came to that? Jumping the pro side?
Well, what happened to me then was in 1963 I started working at bookmakers. Betting shops had opened 2 years previously. And I realised, I thought, music. What am I going to do here? I don't write. I've written plenty of songs since, mind. Some lovely songs which funny enough, I didn't bring any on tape, but I did a couple the other night here, Thursday night. You probably didn't notice, did you?
Which we listened. Diane's one or two things to say about your performance. We'll have a chat with her in a minute.
So I did 2 songs I wrote myself. I didn't start writing songs till I sadly lost my son, 31 years of age, 1997.
Yeah.
And I wrote a song about him. And then I thought, that's not bad, that.
Yeah.
And I wrote a few more songs, but very sadly what happened was I wrote about 12 songs and I had them on an old cassette disc tape, not a CD, the old cassettes. And my wife and I went to London for a week. I did a very, very silly thing. I parked my car in a car park in Liverpool, a multi-storey one, for 3 nights. Crazy when you think of it. Came back and the car had been smashed up. Spare wheel went, all my tapes, everything, and that tape with all those songs. And I couldn't, because it seemed crazy. I've written the songs, but I couldn't remember them properly. So I managed to salvage about 4, but I've written others since. But nothing's.
You just can't seem to get that.
No.
First inspiration, isn't it, that you lost?
Cupid's
you lost
inspiration.
more than that. Yeah. You lost that. That's a tragic story, but then again, there's a moral in that story to say if you do something like that, create something as original as that. You've got to make sure you store it correctly and you keep it correctly, or make multiple recordings of it, or something. You've got to do something. Otherwise, when you're using your computer, Diane, what do you do at the end? Back it up.
I know stories about that.
I know. Anyway, won't go into that. Just mentioning Diane about, we were discussing the Spidermen, weren't we? And said that, because we always have a little chat about the bands and what we think about them. And Diane was saying something very nice about the Spidermen. Go on, tell
the harmonies, 4-part harmony, isn't it?
There you go.
It is. It's quite good. There's some songs though that when you're doing 4-part harmony, it seems that because I'm pretty deaf in this ear, and I've got to struggle to try and get the sound.
I've seen your hand at your ear.
I'm trying to deaden this.
Some people think you're posing when you do that.
Well, it's when they're doing the harmonies because I've got to. Now, if I'm singing on my own, basically, and there's no harmonies, I don't have to do unless I've got the lead guitars on my left, which I try not to have, because it shrieks through my ear.
Yeah.
But when we're doing 3 and 4 part harmonies, what I've got to do is, if I do that now, I get an echoey feeling in there.
Yeah.
So I can hear them properly.
Yeah.
Much, especially when you had the monitors dead right. And sometimes you're in places where we got our own monitors, or maybe we don't, and they haven't got monitors. I'm struggling badly.
Yeah.
To doing harmonies.
It is a problem being deaf. I mean, I'm 50%, because I've been sitting at the side of guitarist amplifiers for too long. And one of the bands that I was in, not very long ago, there was an embarrassing pause at one particular stage because we were doing 4-part and I was singing out of tune and I didn't know it. And the others were too embarrassed to kind of say, Bill, you're singing, they didn't know to approach me with it. And we were great pals.
You were singing in the key of Chub, a Yale.
I know. So anyway, long story short, I did a lot of work on that. I went to a specialist on it. I got a good monitor. There's nothing you can do for your ears. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's all you can. You have to resign yourself to that. So finger in the ear, or a set of earphones, or something. You've got to think of the technology that may be able to help you. And what helped me was a bloody good monitor. That's what I got. So there you go. So that's another story about a little bit of a pause. Then next track, John. What do you got for us next?
Well, when the Buddy died, sadly, they tried a few singers. Sonny Curtis did a few songs with the Crickets, and this is one that Bobby V did with the Crickets backing him.
Right.
Before he went, I think, was it Rubber Ball, his first big hit? I think it was anyway. But this was in 1960, called a song called More Than I Can Say.
Fantastic. Oh. Wonderful. Eat your heart
More
out.
than I can say.
Eat your heart out, Leo Sayer. That's all I can say, because he had
Yeah,
a
Leo
whopper.
did it,
He
yeah.
had a whopper hit with that, didn't
Yeah.
he? And it's put smiles on all our faces.
He did some nice chords in that song.
Yeah.
Crackers.
Classic, lovely song. No
Mm.
doubt about it. And it's magic. You know, the kind of things kind of tracks you're playing tonight for us. It's really nice. And so, where are we going from here then? What are we doing now? Have we got plans for the future? Because I've got ideas for you and your bands like yours.
Rock till we drop.
Rock till you drop. So you're going to come up to Adlington Carnival, aren't you? With
We
us?
certainly are.
And what are we going to do on that day? We're going to try and attempt to break a UK record, aren't we? That's what we're going to try and do, and that is the most number of people in a band playing the same song together. Yeah, and we have to beat a record of 2,267 people. haven't
Even
we?
I'm playing that day.
Yeah,
I'm
So
playing
fantastic.
keyboards. I'll go
Oh, yeah.
keyboards.
we've just
So
chosen.
you've got to have those many musicians in the place.
Hey, we're going to get, and they're going to play acoustic guitars mainly. Yeah, all right, and we're going to have a kind of a made-up band. In other words, there's going to be several of you. I'm going to choose several of you. There's going to be about 10 of you in the band on stage, leading, hopefully, the rest of the people, singing and playing, rocking all over the world.
Yeah, who wrote Rockin' All Over the World?
Now then, I did know until you've just asked me, and I've forgotten. Go on.
John Fogerty,
John
Clearwater,
Fogerty, of course it was.
Clearwater Revival.
I know. John Fogerty. Fantastic.
Here we
So
are,
we
and here we
here we
go,
go,
and
and
here
here
we
we
go.
go. Status quo. Iconic. It opened Live Aid, didn't it? Opened Live Aid, which you can't get any bigger than that. And we're having a go at this and see what we can do with it, and see if we can break this United Kingdom record from the
We used to
biggest
play
band.
there in a place in Flanagan. We used to upstairs in Flanagan, Liverpool.
Yeah.
In Flanagan's.
Flanagan's Apple.
Yeah.
I used to be playing keyboards up there when
Yeah.
we had a band doing that. But I packed it all in and said, I'm giving up. Anyway, they stuck me on a sound desk, and I've been there ever since.
Are you from Wigan? Whereabouts?
Oral.
Oh, Orrell.
Right.
Oh, part of my dad's beat. That's Orrell.
Yeah. A copper in Wigan, your dad. Yeah, what about that? I mean,
I know he wasn't Wigan Borough. That's all changed now.
Ah.
He was actually Lancashire.
it was Lancashire.
Yeah. So when he got halfway towards Wigan,
there was two separate forces.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, and that's what happened in those days, isn't it? And so that's a little bit about Barbo. Let's give you some details. That's on the 12th of July, Saturday, in Adlington on the Jubilee playing fields. Will be the Adlington Carnival. Now they do 3 nights or 3 days, whatever, 2.5 days, 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you buy a programme to get on the ground, and it kind of serves you for the 3 days if you want it to. I think it's about £4 for the programme per person. Now then, what we've done, we made a special arrangement that the musicians who just want to come and attempt to break the record with us, they'll be able to access the field at about 4 o'clock for £1, because in fact there's no gate. You just walk on, and if you're going to play in the Barbo band, the biggest assembled rock band in the world, we need £1 off you, and we'll get a wristband, and that means we can count the numbers on the day. Now then, the other thing is we'll be starting other bands off from 1 o'clock right through till 6. The Barbo attempt at the UK record will be around about 5 o'clock, and that's what we intend doing. And as this is the last programme in the series for a while, and the next one will be after Barbo, that's why I'm getting it in now, then you'll understand what we're doing and all about it, and join in. And John's band, the Spidermen, have actually enlisted to come play in the afternoon, and we'll be getting John and volunteers out of his band together with other guys out of other bands, and you'll all be there on the stage, a mass band playing Rocking All Over the World, and hopefully there'll be another 2,500 people out there actually playing it along with us. And then we're going to do 3 or 4 more songs after that, which will probably be a little bit more complicated, but we'll have a little party, all of us, a mass band party. And that's what we're going to do. John,
Yes,
there's
sir.
just enough time now to say thank you very, very, very
Been a pleasure.
to coming on the WHR Lanky Beat show. We've thoroughly enjoyed listening to the Liverpool side of things. We are the Lancashire side of things, as you know, promoting our Lancashire side. But Liverpool is where? In Lancashire, of course. Certainly is. So, Diane, thank you very much on behalf of, WHR Radio. You have done a superb job for us, not just tonight, but throughout the entire series. And she just keeps saying, I love it.
He loves it.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
She loves you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your patient listening, ladies and gentlemen, and patients and nurses out there. We hope to be back, like I say, pretty soon in August. John, just describe this last song that we're going to play of yours from the Spidermen.
Well, it was one of the Coasters' early releases, 57 or 58. It was a B-side. I'm not sure it was Yakety Yak or was a B-side, but it always stuck in my mind, and I've always had it in the set.
Right.
Love it.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you very much.
Smile for me,
Yeah,
my Diane.
Yeah. I'll sit there.
I'll silly, cloddant back and squeezers.